Hi, it's about it's about 7:50 in the evening on Wednesday. This is the end of day one of the VSTE conference. I finished my last session about 20 minutes ago, and I just wanted to give you an update on what's been happening in the conference. Now, this isn't the video that I imagined doing last year as I was leaving VSTE. Last year I had these thoughts of Visty's supposed to be back in Virginia Beach right now, and I was going to record video footage of the convention center and what goes on in between sessions and what we do in the evening. And I was really going to give you a feel for what it's like to experience the Visty conference. But COVID. At the Visty conference, one of the cool things is you get to interact and network with educators from all over Virginia, sometimes from different states even. You get put in contact with vendors and exhibitors and sponsors who have resources for you. And that's a big part that's missing. And so one of the things that they did this year is they created a Discord channel. Now, if you've never used Discord, it's usually used by video game players and for collaborating with online games. But it has some nice features that help, I don't want to say replicate the experience, but at least mitigate the idea that we can't do quite as much networking as we used to be able to do. So I'm not going to come back with a lot of big contacts for you like I could in previous years. As far as the sessions go, some are better than others. I'm only going to talk about two of them because I don't want to waste your time on a big video. The one that I thought was most informative was the Virginia Department of Education had a couple of people talk to us about updates and resources for virtual learning. One big thing is they have, through Virtual Virginia, some PD for teachers that is available to all Virginia teachers, and they kind of say it's a sort of a choose your own adventure. So it's a bunch of different little pieces of PD that you can put together to meet your needs. So it's supposedly personalized. I do have that presentation that has the link to that that I will share with you. And interestingly, and really when you think about it, not surprising, VDOE is expecting an increase in demand for virtual learning even after we're able to fully return to classrooms. And that's just because there is a group of students for which virtual learning works, and it works really well. And if we're trying to meet the needs of all of our students, why wouldn't we offer them the ability to learn virtually? I think all teachers are going to have some level of comfort with virtual learning going forward. And that includes both synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous and asynchronous, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. So I think one of the things that we need to think about is, how do we take the best of both worlds and put them together going forward so that we maximize our impact on students? The other session I'll tell you about is because sometimes you go to a session at a conference and you think it's going to be one thing based on the title and description, and it ends up being something else. In this case, I went to a session on, it was basically Microsoft tools for hybrid learning. And I went there because even though we tend to use Google for pretty much everything, the fact is sometimes Microsoft actually is a better fit for what you're trying to do. And I wanted to see some examples of how other teachers are using Microsoft tools for hybrid learning. It turned out to be more of a, how do you do hybrid learning in general? It wasn't a waste of time though. I'm going to provide the PowerPoint to you because I think there's some good things to think about in there about how you You design your classroom, so to speak, in a hybrid environment, both for in-person and at-home people. So I think it was still worth my time. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I said I'd be sharing resources, and in the email that accompanies this video, you're going to find a link to a Google folder where I'm just temporarily putting stuff from the conference. All the IFTs that are at the conference are actually going to collect all of this into one Google Doc, sorted by session title, so that you can just click a link and go to all these different resources. And once that's ready, I will also be sending that out to you. So that is my check-in from day one at VSTE, and I will check in tomorrow and let you know what happens and what I learned.